All right, lovers of freedom, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Now, this pastor have said a lot. See this man of God, he has been saying a lot about the Biafra movement. Look at what this man said about what will happen after 2nd of December. Because we keep asking, after this declaration on come 2nd of December, what next? What next? What is left for us that are in the hometown? Do you understand? Yes, we are trying to bring in the liberation from the Biafrans in diaspora. We are trying to bring in the liberation from exile. But what next? Because to me, these particular zoo soldiers and these zoo police, they cannot stop killing in Southeast. They can't stop killing because they know what they are doing. They know what they are doing. They are the cause of this insecurity in Southeast. That is why we are fighting first for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Once Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is released, believe me, there will be another different shape altogether. There will be another different shape. So this particular pastor have revealed a lot about what will happen after 2nd of December. Please relax. Do well to turn on the notification button, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and watch out for what is going to happen. Because believe me, after 2nd of December, the Biafra movement still have a lot of work to do. Now, relax and listen to this voice note I'm about to share now.
American economy is going to bounce back. And by this American economy bouncing back, there is going to be a lot of sanctions. Sanctions to different countries. When I say countries, the sanction is what's called a trade war. And this trade war is going to happen in such a way that some of the Arabic nations are going to have a lot of issues that they need to sort out with Donald Trump. And not only that, China also. China is going to have a lot of things in their hands to contend with as the new government is coming forward. The first thing God told me is about the American economy is what is going to trigger his coming back. And when the American economy triggers is coming back just to compete and make sure that the economy of America bounces back. And I am seeing what's called the wars, especially the Ukrainian war is going to completely be put to full stop. And this very war is not going to continue anymore. There's going to be what's called a discontinuity of what's called the war that is right there in Ukraine. And there's going to be what's called a rebuilding of the city of Ukraine. The money that have been pumped into wars, the money that have been pumped into ammunition to bring down Russia to fight, to do this and do that, is going to be channeled to what's called rebuilding the country of what's called Ukrainian country. Ukraine is going to be rebuilt. This is one thing that is very, very sure. Then another thing that major prophet God has been able to scan through is what's called President Zelensky of what's called the Zelensky of Ukraine. The President Zelensky of Ukraine. We need to pray for him because I am seeing Ukraine being removed from power. Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, I am seeing Zelensky being removed from power and replaced. These are the things that will play out. But the time that this is going to play out, major prophet of God will still keep you updated. Because when it comes to the things of the spirit, as the Lord is opening the eyes of his servant, the major prophet of God, to look at the spiritual world, I will pick up what is in the realm of the spirit as the spirit of God has carried me in the realms of the spirit to begin to glance into the future. I'll bring it to you and will still hesitate. I will not hesitate to make sure that all of these things are made very clear to you so that you cannot be a novice to the things of the spirit. So I am seeing what's called President Zelensky being removed and replaced. Because there's going to be, by all means, peace is going to return back to Ukraine, and the Ukraine is going to be rebuilt. For this purpose is why I'm seeing what's called Zelensky being replaced. So may the Lord be glorified and the Lord be praised forever and ever, for he is God and he never changes. He is God, he never disappoints. When he says yes, no man can say no. The door he opens, nobody can close that door. So we must continue to pray. I pray that his removal will not result to death. Will not result to death. I pray it should not result to death. I pray, because when major prophet of God has seen something that is negative, I will try all I want to do to make sure that it becomes a prayer to pray for him. We pray. The prayer is, it should not become dead, but it should become something that is life. So we pray for that, and let the Lord be praised forever and ever. That concerns the country of what's called Ukrainian country, and what's called the war is going to be completely put to a full stop, and also the rebuilding of Ukraine is going to be rapidly done. And I am seeing what's called, this is what's called the fund that belongs to Russia that has been confiscated by the world power, especially NATO and the rest of them, America. This was called Russian fund that are confiscated, return back to Russia. These are the things that are going to play out, because some of this fund are also going to be used to rebuilding the land of Ukraine. We give God the glory because God is God and God is not a man. We must continue to play the role of what's called the peacekeeping on the face of the earth. The earth is of the Lord and the fullness thereof. And anything that goes on the face of the earth that does not bring peace, every child of God, every servant of God is to stand in the gap, to pray, and also provide solution for peace to reign on the face of the earth. Because this is the war that God has made. And for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, Jesus Christ. And by Jesus Christ, we are made to come and represent that office, occupy till he comes. And that is why major prophet of God is remaining in the office of prophecy to now continually prophesy until the Lord comes. Major prophet of God will prophesy. And so that is what is already in the realm of the spirit that the Lord has showed his servant, the major prophet of God, to talk about. Because when we talk about these, people who are prayer warriors and people who are oil intercessors from different parts of the world will continue to intercede and pray. I was going through what's called somebody online talking about Donald Trump to be impeached. That's not possible. It's not possible. There's nothing like that in the realm of the spirit. Major prophet of God have looked at the spiritual world and have glanced through the regime of Donald Trump and not seen anything impeachment. Though there's going to be a stepping of toes, and many people are going to come out to now try to do one or two things. But the issue of what Donald Trump experienced in the other time of his leadership, this time around is going to be quite different, because this time around is coming with what was called more determined and more focused and more concentrated to make sure that America gets better. That's a message that the Lord is showing to major prophet of God, to see it first and prophesy it the way it is. He's going to rule his 4 years. There's not going to be anything impeachment to him. It's not going to be anything impeachment for him. All we should pray now is to pray that America should bounce back fully, because we are all in the support that America should do well. When America do well, we are happy. When America is doing well, we rejoice. When America is doing well, the world will be happy, because this is what was called the bodies of the world. So we must give them every support that they need, spiritually and physically, and making sure that everything is all right. And then when they sing a song, they say everything is turning around for good. So let everything turn around for good, that the people in America may be happy and also rejoice. We need to pray and continue to trust the Lord, for God is God and God is not a man. God can never be a man. God will remain God and continue to be who he is at all time, in the name of Jesus Christ. Another issue in the realm of the spirit that major prophet God is now looking at, it is too early to begin to dive into the governance of Donald Trump and telling you what the future holds and who is going to be the next American president after Donald Trump. These are the areas we have to focus attention and begin to look at the spiritual world and begin to look at what is going to happen. But there are people that the Lord has shown to major prophet of God to see and begin to also point the spiritual finger on them, so that these are the people that are likely to go and merge and become one day presidents of America. Major prophet of God has seen it all, and the Lord will continue to do what he is going to do, and nobody can say no. I am seeing in the team of Donald Trump, I'm seeing right there, this was called Elon Musk, this was called the young man that was taken together with Elon Musk. Two of these people are about to be washed out in the next, next coming forward, when the next American election is going to begin to come forth. These are people to watch out. I don't know how to remember the name of the other young man that was together in a particular portfolio that was given to Elon Musk and that young man. So these two people should be watched. The hand of the Lord is already pointing there. But it's too early to begin to dive into things that will happen in the future. You remember that when I get the prophecy that God was not done with Donald Trump, I told you God is not done with Donald Trump. That was 2020. That was 2020. Nobody could ever believe that this very prophecy will come to pass in a day. But major prophet God has glanced into the future, and I told you, I said, God is not done with Donald Trump, because I'm seeing Donald Trump coming to contest again to become American president. This is a prophecy given on this altar. It is for you to respect God and give God glory, and know there's nothing on the face of the earth that happened at the back of God. So we're looking at what is going to happen, and we're looking at the future, and we'll begin to prophesy things as the Lord is giving the major prophet of God the grace to prophesy. Major prophet of God, I am not ashamed of prophecy, because it is what God has given to me as the power of God to begin to prophesy, that people may be blessed all over the world, and people can be able to walk in light and not in darkness, and people can give God the glory, and people can say, oh God, you are God. And that's why the song said, you are God from beginning to the end. There's no place for argument. You are all by yourself. You are God. You are God from beginning to the end. There's no place for argument. Now recognize, and also what's called state of Biafra in the realm of the spirit to the realm of the physical. But we must continue for peace of God to reign upon the face of the earth, because it is the will of God for peace to reign. Let the peace of God reign, for we are praying for the peace of God. Major prophet of God is born to prophesy, and when it comes to prophesy, I will not shy away from prophesying the truth, because I'll prophesy the truth, whether it be for me, or it be for another person, or it be for another people, or it be for another nation. I don't care. What I care is to go ahead, prophesy whatever I see in the realm of the spirit. And that is why when the people were going, oh, it is time for Kamala Harris, it is time for American female to be a president, I said, the America is not ripe. They are not ripe for what people are thinking or saying. And the next president is Donald Trump. I did not say it to disprove or to hate or to now go against anybody. I'm saying what I see in the realm of the spirit, because I'm seeing what's called Donald Trump right there in the month of January. I'm seeing what's called an inauguration date in the realm of the spirit. I'm seeing a date called 20th of January. And this 20th of January, I'm seeing what's called inauguration of what's called the president-elect of America, Donald Trump, to become the next president of America. And this is 47th presidency of America. And in the speech, and I'm seeing as the speech was going on, and after all said and done, and Donald Trump entered into the office, and that's what's called recognition of the state of Biafra. Recognition of the state of Biafra right there in the White House. Donald Trump. Somebody begin to look at major prophet of God. Why you see tomorrow? It's not the major prophet of God, it's the God of the major prophet of God. Because when it comes to accurate prophecy, it is not the man you are looking at, it is the spirit of God. And that's what they sang a song. They said, something more than gold, something more than silver. The spirit of the Lord in the life of man is something more than gold, something more than gold. Jesus, you are the Lord.
Northerners cry in pain as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi Simon Ekpa vindicated. Here are the news in details. Wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world, you are welcome to Biafra Unite channel / television this very moment. Today's date is 19th of November 2024, and I have this very all-important video for every one of you listening to my voice right now from wherever you are all over the world. Dear friends and lovers of freedom, I want you to pay very good attention to this very news, because it's very, very important. I can assure you, my people, the northern elders and northern citizens, or should I say Arewa citizens, are currently crying in pain for what is currently going on, not just in the northern part of the zoo, but in Sokoto in particular, as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister, have all been vindicated. So I will tell you how these two Biafran leaders have been vindicated, but before then, let us watch this very video in details. Don't go nowhere, because we still have more in the kitchen.
The Lakurawa, they came in as a radical and violent group with quote and unquote their own Islamic teachings and also their own Islamic ideology. And the unfortunate thing is that they don't have a very good understanding of the religion, neither do they have an understanding of what exactly they want to do. And the fact of the matter is, the locals will tell you, they preach religion, they preach their own ideology and their own teachings, but they seem not to even understand what they are actually into. And what do we see? We see people from different nationalities. They are mostly not Nigerians. They are from Niger, from Burkina Faso, from Benin, from Mali, and other parts of the Sahel. But the most interesting thing about it is that, again, they don't even understand the language of each other.
Now, the person who is speaking is from Sokoto himself. But there is something that wonders me. He said, the most interesting thing is that the people in question are not even from Nigeria. So, that brings me to this very question. Where are they from? And again, he said that they do not speak one language. They don't even understand themselves. So, where are they from? That is not even the question. Did they come to the zoo with a whole lot of money and purchase AK-47 from the zoo military? Pay attention, this is a very important question. Did they come to the zoo with a lot of money from all those Sahel countries and purchase AK-47 assault rifles from the zoo army? Or did they come with this AK-47 from all these countries that he mentioned, and then they cross the zoo borders and enter into the Northern Zoological Republic and start causing mayhem? Or did they arrive the zoo? After arriving the zoo, then this Fulani oligarchy that want to dip their whatever in Atlantic Ocean and then to Fulanize all of us, are they the ones that purchased this AK-47, gave it to them, and asked them to go into the villages and start terrorizing the innocent citizens? So these are the questions waiting and begging for answer from this very northern oligarchy. Let's continue.
That is very clear. And in some part of Sokoto, where they operate, in these local government areas that I'm going to mention, around Ilela, around Tangaza, Godu, Bale, Benji, Silami, down to some part of KB, particularly in Kangiwa, in Audi, and as we speak today, they are in some part of Argungu local government area. I think this is a threat, and a very fundamental threat, not only to Nigerian security, but to international security, and also it is an international threat. In my own opinion, the fight against these people requires a robust and elaborate operation. We don't actually need to engage in customized security operation in these places, because they have entrenched the communities, they have gotten the acceptance on the part of the communities. And what do we see? Traditional authorities, even yesterday I was relating with some of them, they said they have no option. You've seen people with military grade weapons. You wake up in the morning, you see them at night.
Did you hear that? You see people with military grade weapons. I want you to outline that word. This man confirmed that he wake up early in the morning and see people with military-grade weapons. He said it's not me. Who gave